What's good? What's good? All right, let's chop it up about this boxing. Let's talk about a little life and some other things this morning. We tend to let the live stream wander a little bit out into worlds of speculation. But hey, man, I'm feeling really good this morning because it looks like Bud Crawford might be getting a fight with Manny Pacquiao. Man, I'm gonna go with everybody else and treat it as if. Hold on one second. One quick second. Sorry about that, man. I had to make sure I had to have a little bit of asthma. So I had to take a puff of my inhaler this morning. Because, I'm stupid and I keep puffing despite the fact that I got asthma. Oh, okay, I removed it. Is it good? The music going now? Hold on one second. Yeah, it'll be gone now. There you go. C-Cut in the building. What's good? He said, what's good, Martin? How you doing today? Man, I'm doing really well. I can't complain. Yesterday I had a really good day of studying. Had a great day of studying yesterday. I've decided that I was going to pick up another subject. Well, not another subject, but advance my studies a little bit further in an area that I was kind of, squeamish about getting back into heavy. But man, dog, I had a great day of study yesterday, dog. Got to get somebody on the internet. You know how I like cats try to ask you complicated questions. People thought, man, ain't nothing complicated about the divine paradox, dog. Ain't nothing complex about it. And I'm going to tell y'all something. When niggas make something sound complicated that's simple, I'm always looking at you, dog, because the truth is always simple. It's always simple. The truth is simple. The lie, the covering up of the truth, that's where complication comes in. Okay? So just telling y'all, when you guys present arguments to me about any subject, I don't care how fucking lofty, if you act as if that shit is complicated, I ain't fucking with you, dog, because it's simple. My IQ, there's no such thing as IQ, dog. You partake in intelligence. What percentage of intelligence do I take part of? I don't know how much energy, how much water is in my body. You know what I mean? I can't keep track of how much water's in my body. I can't keep track of how much calcium's in my body. I can't keep track of the number of hair on my head. So I cannot tell you how much intelligence I possess, but it's in every fucking molecule of my body. It's in every molecule of my body, dog. That's the only thing that I can say. As far as your fucking stupid ass tests that are lies, upwards of 170. But who the fuck cares? Because that shit is just an answer. They just ask you a bunch of fucking questions and see if you can see shit that's obvious, right? They track how much your brain waves, how much activity you have in your brain waves. They ask you to look at these stupid fucking what do you call them shit? Them little splotches. The splotch where they're trying to convince you to find something there that may they be there or not. So you tell them, I can see any fucking thing you want me to see in this. Because the whole purpose of the whole test is to get me to have my mind work and see how hard I'm willing to work to find it. Nigga, it's there because it's a black splotch. You can have anything in that bitch, dog. Just imagine the rest of the fucking black going away. And then you see a picture of your mama sitting there. Nigga, that shit is stupid, okay? I just don't have time for that type of dumb shit, dog. And you niggas talking about IQ are ignorant. There's no such fucking thing as an IQ. Who gets to judge it? If you are smarter than somebody else, how can they determine that? How can they determine that? You're stupid. You know what I'm saying? You're stupid. No, dog. The truth of the matter is that you partake in intelligence. That's it. Intelligence is something that exists just like air, and you partake in it, and everyone partakes in it, and everything partakes in it, because everybody has purpose, and everybody has, right? It's just, you know what I mean? You just sound ignorant based on the question, man. You guys are trying to, an IQ score is something that they try to use to justify you not getting money spent in your school. The low IQ thing is something that you ask to justify the mistreatment of other people. That's what IQ is, okay? And now they want to put EQ. You know what I mean? EQ. What's the EQ and shit? Now, oh, that's the creative side. They just don't have a fundamental understanding of existence, dog. It's horse shit, flat out horse shit. And not trying to, it's not scientific, right? It's because, are you smart the same amount of intelligence every day, all day? When you wake up in the morning and you're groggy, can you answer the same fucking questions that you could after a cup of coffee in the middle of the afternoon? Absolutely not. You'd be foggy as shit. So does your IQ vary during the day, right? At what point in time are you asking me about my IQ? How smart am I right now? Or how smart am I at 11 o'clock at night when I get tired? Or how smart am I when I get distracted because my wife wants something? Stop. You bozos have never taken an IQ test. Number one, that shit's expensive, okay? It's expensive to have a true IQ test. Thousands of dollars, dog. The little things you get on the internet, those are not fucking, those are trivia. Those are trivia. Those are trivia tests. Those are mathematical tests. Those are trying to get you to guess whether you can see a pattern. Man, fuck out of here, dog. When people want to know how smart you are, they stick electrodes to your fucking head, and they want to know what your brain is doing. They can ask you anything. They can sit there and watch you look at lights, and in their shit, they will see your brain light up. Fuck up out of here, dog. You don't know what you're talking about. You're ignorant, and somebody throw his ass the fuck out. I'm just not in the mood for you, dog. So are you saying memories or intellect is pulled from a source outside of itself? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that the universe is mental in and of itself. Everything about it is mental. Everything is mental. And that's proven by science. It's proven by your own observation. You never see out. You never see out. Light comes in and your brain makes sense of the images that it gets, the vibrations that it gets. Same thing with sound, same thing with touch, same thing with color. All of that is processed in your mind. You do not get to see the true form of things, and that is just common science. So I'm saying that we are in intelligence, period. It's like the air. It is what you call spirit. Spirit is intelligent. It is the ultimate, it is referred to often as the ultimate mind of God, is spirit. And from everything else, spirit manifests. But the intelligence, the higher intelligence of spirit pervades everything. So it's not an issue of how much you're born with. It's an issue of how much you partake in. And are you journeying to increase your level of, for a lack of a better term, intelligence? It's just not that complicated, dog. So when you're saying, what's my IQ? You're telling me that you're as dumb as a fucking stone. That your mental energies are on the vibration of a rock. Okay? Shut the fuck up. Okay? Really, truly shut the fuck up and listen. Because you are not educated. You are not educated. And you are not working hard to get to the answers to the questions that you don't even know to ask. What is intelligence? And how can you divide it? If intelligence is the all, then it cannot be divided. How can it be divided? No, you partake in it. And you will see that everywhere in nature. Water goes from the most misty thing you can see, or you can't see, in the air, and then as this vibration slows down, it goes all the way to ice. It appears as steam, comes down as clouds, rain, sleet, ice. Okay? As above, so below. Anyway, I don't want to get into that stuff, dog. I just don't like that IQ test question because you don't know what it is. You just don't know what it is. You don't understand. So go the fuck away from me, dog. Said, true, I like that. A oneness. Yeah. I mean, dude, it's dog. It's really, people make that shit so complicated and it's really not confident. It's self-evident. The only complication comes in the mechanics of it. But other than that, come on, man. That shit, you can look at a tree. I mean, fucking sit and think about a tree for a second. You know what I mean? Think about it. Just think. Spend some time thinking. And that shit, the more you think about it, the more it comes to you. And the more you think about it, the more it comes to you. That's the same thing they say in church. Take one step towards God, he takes 2 steps towards you. If you want to run down the street, that's how you become a better runner. You want to become a better fighter, fight. You want to be a better plumber, fuck with plumbing. If you want to be a more intelligent human being, fuck with intelligence. It's just, dude, this shit's consistent. It's very, very consistent because it is structured. And it's structured by the laws. And you can see it in numbers. You can, the whole one, I mean, most motherfuckers don't even know what 1 through 10 is. They don't even understand what numbers are. No clue what numbers are. They count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They'll say alpha, beta, gamma, O, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa. And they have no fucking clue what those things mean. None. Quite beautiful if you understand them, dog. Quite beautiful if you understand them. Quite beautiful if you understand them. But, you know, you guys want to sit and talk dumb shit all the fucking time. You can learn all this shit through watching a boxing match, man. You see all of this at play in a boxing match. But you just have to stop being a fucking idiot. That's pretty much it. You know what I mean? And you're living in a blessed time because in times before, dude, you would not even be able to talk to people that knew this. Because they would say, dude, don't cast your pearls in front of swine. Who says shit like that? Elitists say shit like that. Elitists say shit like that. Wealthy, wealthy, wealthy people say that. Do not cast your pearls before the pigs. Why? Because of the fear. Nah, I ain't quite buying that shit. But we live in a day and time now, dude, where that shit's all something you can understand. You go pick up that shit at Barnes and fucking Noble, dog. You can pick that shit up at Barnes and Noble, homie. Just telling you, you dummy. I want to be elite. Martin, what should I do? Hey, Paul Kendrick said, peace and blessings, my Bison's brother. Finally caught up with you. It's been a while, man. Thank you for supporting the channel, dog. Thank you so, so much, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And it supports what we're doing over there on the Instagram. And we got a new partner that I just got a call. We're solidifying a deal with a new partner, a business manager that is really going to be very, very, very helpful to us getting funds and getting things done for young fighters, man. So want to let you know that we'll be making that announcement probably in the next month or so. But I've got a business manager, longtime member of the channel that you guys don't see a lot because he very rarely comments, but he's a friend of mine and we've worked together in the past. Al Paul says, salute for now. Salute to you, sir. What's good, man? Boxnard said, if Bud and Pacquiao fight, will the winner fight the winner of Spence, Ugas for all the belts? I think that they will, dude. I really do think that they will. I think that they will. I have faith in it because I believe that they have the money. I believe that they have the money for the stuff. Like, and there's enough independent investors that are acting like they want to put the money up where I'm confident that we will be able to get better fights because there's going to be more money just out there for the fighters for those fights. So if Bud beats, my take on it is this. If Bud beats Manny, then he gets his 50-50 cut with Errol Spence Jr. I think that is right where it's supposed to be. Everything is right there. So I love the fight from that aspect. If Terence beats Manny Pacquiao, boom. It's a 50-50 fight. And the whole Errol Spence Jr. side has got to, that's going to be an argument. I'm telling you. And I'm a huge, what is this your face is haters shit? You got to explain that or get thrown the fuck out, dog. My face is haters? That could mean a million different things, dude. You're going to have to be a little bit more specific. Yeah, see, Sean Gibbons, I'm glad you said that because now I'm going to get you. Judah Israel, man, thank you so much for supporting the cause, man. Thank you. It's very, very important to the channel. Thank you, man. It makes us have to rely a lot less on ads and that to keep the channel up and running and to do what we're doing on Instagram. So thank you, dude. Steve J said it's not 50-50, big bro. Yeah, it will be, without a doubt. There's no way he'll get out of that. No way. No way. I'm telling you, I've done the negotiation. I've done the negotiation. Errol can't get out of that. Not with the Manny Pacquiao win. No way. Because Manny Pacquiao's because the fight is going to be twice as big as anything Errol Spence ever had. Terence Crawford versus Bud Crawford, if they promote that shit right, is going to do 900,000 pay-per-views. It might crack 1 million. It might crack 1 million. If it cracks 1 million and he wins, that's a 50-50 fight with Errol. 50-50. And the 50-50 is telling you how big Errol is. Because that fight becomes the biggest fight in all of boxing. And it becomes a 2 million fight pay-per-view, dude. That shit has to go to 50-50 if he wins. Let me put it this way. If Manny Pacquiao versus Bud Crawford, and I'm not saying it's a done deal yet. I'm still, I'm being hopeful. But if Manny Pacquiao versus Bud Crawford becomes, if that does over 1 million pay-per-views, that's a 50-50 fight. Because that will allow Errol Spence and Errol Spence and Terence Crawford to do over 1 million, for sure, right? And then you say, well, what percentage is what? And here's the calculation. Here's the calculation, Steve J. Manny Pacquiao against Keith Thurman did what? Did it do 600 or it did 800? Say it did 800,000, right? It didn't do any more than 800,000, but I think it did 800,000. Might have done 6. But let's go with 800,000 for Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman, right? Keith Thurman is a legitimate competitor because that was a bigger number than he did with Adrian Bronner. It went up from like 500,000 to 800,000 in the second fight. So now you say, okay, what does Bud do? Now, if they do less than 800,000, Bud's fucked. Because that means he pulled in less than Thurman. But if he does 1 million, 1,000,001, that's 300,000 more than Keith Thurman, and I think it's fair for you to give him those 300,000 pay-per-views. If we give him those 300,000 pay-per-views, that is 350,000 pay-per-views a shot for Errol Spence, and that is 300,000 pay-per-view for Terence Crawford. And on a very, very big stage, which, by the way, Errol Spence benefits from. Because once Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao starts getting all that promotion on ABC, ESPN, and they really push it super heavy, because it's Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford, but Manny Pacquiao, then it's going to elevate Errol Spence. Errol Spence is going to get yacked up because of this, because he's the guy that gets the winner. And they're going to talk the whole time. And whoever wins the fight, are you fighting Errol Spence Jr.? And Errol Spence Jr.'s name is going to get spit in the face of what? 1.2 million people on a pay-per-view and on the replays? Dog, that a rising tide lifts all boats. Don't trip. Because this is Manny Pacquiao, if it happens. Manny Pacquiao is doing for Terence Crawford and Errol Spence what Floyd Mayweather Jr. didn't do. And giving these guys a stage to go through the roof. Terence Crawford is now hitched to Manny Pacquiao, which goes, yeah, right? And with that comes up Errol. Errol becomes huge, and he becomes more of the focal point of boxing than Canelo, because Canelo has none of this. Canelo does not have the ability to do any of this. Right now, feasibly, Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford is a bigger fight than any fight Canelo Alvarez could have, especially if that Manny Pacquiao fight happens first. Which is why I'm so complimentary of Manny Pacquiao if he takes this fight. Because that is seriously, can he get his belt back? I don't know. I'm not going to underestimate him, dog. I'm not. Me fucking around underestimating with Manny Pacquiao has gotten me a lot of trouble, dog. He wants to fight, I'm going to test him. Do you think this fight will be drug tested? I don't know. I do not know. I don't know. There's been a lot of, I try not to pay attention to that. Just with Manny Pacquiao, and I'll tell you why with Manny Pacquiao, because I go get so fucking sick of Manny Pacquiao fans. And because I like Manny Pacquiao fans. The ones now, like the current crop of Manny Pacquiao fans are the shit. Because they just die hard for Manny. They'll be like, I'll say, well, Manny Pacquiao, doesn't deserve 30. Oh, Manny Pacquiao only has 7 championships and he doesn't have 8. He's got 7, right? Like, point out the fact that he has 7, not 8. I'll shoot you in the head. That type of shit. You know what I'm saying? You're a scumbag, lying piece of shit. I love it. Because, dude, they don't speak proper, and it's in broken English. So I'm like, hey, I like that shit, because that's just Manny Pacquiao's people riding with him, dog. So right there, I'm cool with that. It was all the fake Manny Pacquiao fans with all the want to call you a this and then that and the other thing. I'm glad all that shit got cleared out. Like, all that shit got cleared out. There's a lot less of that going on. Definitely, like, on this stream. Now we get called racist because they can't call us niggers. You remember that. On YouTube and in boxing media, in those chat rooms, they used to call us niggers and monkeys and spades. All that shit straight to your face. Once that got cleaned up, they immediately stopped calling us niggers and started calling us racists. Tell me I'm not fucking lying, dog. Tell me I'm lying. That shit is the exact experience of everybody on YouTube. Before there was a YouTube where everybody could come and do these videos, we used to have to be in them chat rooms. And them chat rooms like Max Boxing, that's why I can't fucking stand Dougie Fisher and I can't fucking stand Steve fucking Kim, because that shit was the most toxic shit I had experienced in my life, dog, was those fucking chat rooms in boxing, dog. It was toxic as fuck for black people. And Dougie Fisher was in that motherfucker acting like he didn't see none of that shit. Fuck Dougie Fisher and fuck Steve Kim, dog. Straight up, dude. I will never forget that dude. I went to that dude's channel, dog. I went to Max Boxing because I saw him and he was a black dude doing his thing. And I was like, yeah, I want to support that. And when I started talking boxing in those deals, and this was way back in 2001, we're talking a while ago now. Dude, they would call you nigger. They would call you every kind. You see, like that, what's your IQ? That type motherfucker. You know what I mean? Fucking my IQ. Idiot quotient? Yeah, nigga, your IQ is high as fuck. I bet you got 300, idiot. Fucking idiot. Anyway, Thurman did less than 500, I believe. Nah, I don't know, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, I ain't gonna look at that shit. Whatever it was, it doesn't matter. The equation still works the same way. Steve J said, I agree with you if it goes that way they did big numbers. Then it would be 50-50. But my question is, what if they don't do more than Keith? Keith was a bigger draw than Bud. It looks bad. It looks bad. Works both ways. It works both ways. Then that's why I'm saying it is the difference between the Keith Thurman fight and Manny's pack. I will give him credit for the difference between the Keith Thurman and the Keith Thurman fight and the Terence Crawford fight. Whatever he does above Keith Thurman or below Keith Thurman, he keeps. He keeps for himself because that's clearly what he added, right? Just like I do believe, I think it was closer to 600,000, but whatever it was, Thurman was more than Brawner. But I think that could have had to do with the fact that was the second promotion. Whatever it was, they all did well. It is what it is. I'm going to give him credit for that. But if the fight if it flops, he's fucked. I mean, like, if he flops, he's fucked. But the likelihood of him flopping is not high. It is minuscule. That is a great fight, dog. I mean, that is a great fight just in the boxing ring, man. And by the way, Steve J, thank you so much for the support, man. Thank you so much for the support. And because of the support, I'm giving you guys a little bit. If you've not noticed, I'm trying to bring up, I'm trying to get rid of dummies. Okay? If you ever hear me just start talking in a way that may seem, a little lofty for the subject matter, just understand that I'm trying to get rid of bums. Like, because if I can speak for 3 or 4 minutes and they don't have any clue what the fuck I'm saying, but you do, these motherfuckers will leave. Okay? And that shit pleases me. I really don't want dumb motherfuckers around me, dog, because that shit is not growing anything, man. That shit is just by them being here, they're dumbing up the motherfucker, C-Cut said, Teofimo has 3.5 years on his contract, not if they breach it. This isn't important. Boxnard 805, the answer to that question is really not important. How many fights does Teofimo have left with Top Rank? I don't know, but according to what I understand, they're not. Top Rank is not able to abide by the terms of the contract. So Teofimo Lopez, if they don't change or do something to make him happy, he'll be able to get out of the contract in court without paying shit. Because he'll be like, look, Top Rank promised me that I was going to get 4 fights a year. Or 3 fights a year. I'm not getting 3 fights a year. I'm only getting 1. I fought 1 in 2020. It looks like I may get 2 in 2021. And if they're not living up to that, then that's breach of contract, and he gets to go on and do his business. Hey, you remind me of Samuel Jackson. You cuss every sentence, which is funny. Hey, look. I'm going to tell you why the fuck it's important to cuss. Because it expresses an emotion in the proper way. Fuck you, bitch. Makes perfect sense. You get all of the emotion you need. You get all of the clarity. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's important, dog. Cussing is valuable. Like, I can't tell you. The reason cussing, that's why these motherfuckers always tell you not to cuss. Because cussing is so fucking beautiful. Cussing is so beautiful. If you've ever listened, it beautifies the sentence. Now, let me explain this. Not just stress release, but look at this, dude. There's this concept of that I understand it, so I'll explain it using the words. There's a concept called polarity, right? Right, which is in that all this shit you niggas always be talking about, but don't understand. Like, dog, I'm going to tell you, and this is not pointed at anybody else. This is not pointed at anybody I've spoken to. I am sick of you motherfuckers talking about philosophy and don't understand a fucking bit of it. Okay? I am sick to shit of that, dog. Okay? I'm just going to tell you. I am about this fucking close, nigga, to getting the channel and bashing the fuck out of y'all, dog. Talking about hermetic sciences, Moorish sciences, the Illuminati. I'm about sick of you niggas. Okay? Because I'm telling you, most of these do not understand that shit. Do not understand it. Because you started backwards. You started backwards. I'm telling you, you've got to start with the hard shit and then go to the easy shit. You can't go to the easy shit and then work your way to the hard shit. Because you'll be too lazy to get through the hard shit, dog. You need some details to that motherfucker, dog. You need some clear details, man. And people get lost in symbology, man. Y'all got to get out that symbology, dog. Like, for real. Number one advice to y'all, stop talking about symbology. Stop it. Stop. It's irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. Because the only thing it means is what it means to you. That's it. Like, again, the world is mental. So you define your reality, homie. So when you see a symbol, it's you associating meaning to that symbol. And when you see that symbol, it brings in you your feelings associated with it. That is the essence of symbolism. They put some meaning behind a symbol and convince you that that's the meaning of the symbol. And then every time you see the symbol, you jerk like Pavlov's dog. Stop talking about symbolism, dog. Stop. Stevie Wonder is blind, right? He can't see those symbols. Do you think that shit isn't equally, he doesn't have the same concepts because he can't see them? So, dude, for real. Back up. Yeah, I've read Carl Jung. Yeah, Carl Jung's good. I started with Jung. I started with Freud. Then I went back, and then you got Kant, you got those guys. But then you go back further, you get the Francis Bacons, you get them, all the Aleister Crowleys and all that shit. And then you go back further, and then you get to the Rosicrucians, you get to, the different schools, and then you go back to the Hermetic. But then beyond the Hermetic is the natural. And that shit is some freaky shit that I never want to get into. The little motherfuckers with the bones and the fucking... Where I stop is the little African niggas with the bones in their noses and the stretched necks. Once I start seeing that shit, I'm like, I'm all right, dog. I'm all right. I don't need to know all that shit. Them motherfuckers, they are like, woo-wee, dog. But it's important, dude. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, man and his symbols. See, that's what I'm saying, though, dog. That's a half-truth. It's a half-truth. Every truth is a half-truth. Every truth is a half-truth. You have to, the law of polarity. It's going to have two poles, dude. You're going to have to reconcile the poles, which are the same thing, but just differ in, as they say, degree. But that's because they all locked up on that physical, like, I want to be I want to sound like, I don't know. I don't know. Cats be trying to impress you, though. It is what it is. Where am I at, man? I'm sorry. I'm floating in between the subjects today. But it's all right, though. Like I said. He said, you look nuts when your eye peeled back too. How do I look nuts, nigga? That is your perception, dummy. You are telling me if I turn my head like this and my eye is weak and it moves to the side, because that's when it does it. I lose focus and my eye will drift. So the fuck what? Anyway, you're telling me that I look nuts to you. So you're defining for me what you consider to be nuts. What I think is stupid is for you to think somebody is insane because their eye moved the wrong way. What would you think about them if they had a booger on their nose, you fucking ignoramus? Huh? What if I had a keloid on my ear? Would I look insane because I have a keloid on my ear, you dumbass? What other physical fucking non-issue do you associate with insanity, you fucking moron? You're a moron, dog. See, that's what I'm saying. It is not a matter of somebody being more intelligent than somebody else. It's a matter of motherfuckers being stupid. That's how the Illuminati see it. You know how cats be answering them questions like that? Man? That's how the Illumin think of it. Yeah, that's how the Illumin think of it, nigga. They think we ain't that smart, motherfucker. You just real stupid. You can't see what's right in front of your face. You can't see what's right in front of your face. You don't think about the sentences coming out your head. You look nuts when you eyes peel back. First of all, nigga, if you want to communicate, use proper English. Either not proper English, use some fucking punctuation. Make your thought, make your words sound like you want them to sound in my head. Your sentence sucks. Second, you are comparing somebody being insane with somebody that has a cockeye. You would have been better off just calling me a cockeyed bastard. Be like, shut the fuck up, you cockeyed bastard. That would have been good, but then I would have pointed to you. Dude, my eyes are not cocked. They are dead straight. I'm 52 years old, though, so when I do this muscle weakened. Because I'm old, nigga, and I read a lot. Would you really like to know why my eye does that? Because I've been in school, 19 years of reading fucking books for school. Another, 15 years of studying and reading for subjects related to what we're talking about. If your dumb ass would do that, your eyes might weaken too. Now, what's your excuse for being stupid? How many books did you not read? How much time did you spend smoking weed and getting turned down by broads? Scheming on other dudes' chicks because you can't get one yourself because you talk too much shit and they don't like you. Huh? I don't mind. See, B&B boxing, talking like that is cool. Talking like that, I understand that. Like, if somebody came to me and said just that, I would understand every word that came out of their mouth, dog. I don't need for anybody to speak to me in any other fashion than they speak. You know why? Because I can hear it and I know I can get their intonations. I know the context. I can understand them as long as it's the same structured language, right? I don't have any problem talking to any fucking body and understanding what they have to say. If I understand the language, right? And I understand Southern, ain't no the thickest Southern accent unless you start flying with blah, 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 blah. I can understand it. And I'll just be like, can you slow that down? What did you mean by that? And then if I don't, all I got to do is ask him a question, right? I understand Deontay Wilder perfectly well. I think Deontay Wilder should just speak like himself, though, and that would make it a lot more easy to understand. What Deontay does is he will, because he reads and because he thinks, he expanded his vocabulary, but doesn't necessarily have the use of the context because he's not around people on a daily basis that will inculcate him with that shit. You know what I mean? Like, my mother's vocabulary is, she knows every word in the goddamn dictionary. You know what I mean? And she will have talked to me, and I don't know what the fuck for you, like, what does that mean, mama? What does that mean, mama? What does that mean, mama? What does that word mean, mama? That is the type, that's why I can speak like this, because my mother spoke like that. Anyway, back to the subject matter. Dropped out of elementary, yeah. But dude, you can hear, you understand. Chi-Town Love, what's going on, Maryland? Kazi says, Chi-Town Love, where'd it go? Fannon, keep bringing that heat. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Yeah. Deontay Wilder got that Shannon Sharp. Yeah, but see, Shannon Sharp, in my mind, that's a brilliant guy. That's a bit, I won't say brilliant, because I haven't talked to him about a lot of shit. But he has a strong intellect, for sure. Most athletes do, because it's a thinking man's game. These people are all highly intelligent, dog. Gervonta Davis is highly intelligent. Brawner is highly intelligent. Mayweather is highly intelligent. Canelo's highly intelligent. Jose Ramirez is highly intelligent. I don't believe that there are very many top boxers at all that ain't just a fucking cheating scumbag that are not highly intelligent human beings. Cuban Boxer said, big up to your mother. Yeah, my mama was wild with that vocabulary, dog. Wild with that vocabulary, you know? But back to cussing, dog. It's important to be able to speak in both ways. Yes. I mean, it's useful, not important. It's useful. It's useful. But honestly, it really is best to speak the way you speak because everybody else will adjust to that. Now, if you're trying to impress somebody because what other people think about you, that's something different than trying to communicate with someone. If you truly, truly want somebody to understand you, you have to speak in the fashion that you are used to speaking in, and you have to ask them to ask for clarification. And they will ask for clarification. What do you mean by a lick? Now, I'm telling you, niggas used to talk a lot of shit about me, dog. Like, for real? Like, back in the day, niggas was like, because I knew what a lick was. I mean, I had to ask what a lick was. Because I was like, this motherfucker keeps saying lick around me. I don't like this nigga. What the fuck is a lick? And nobody I knew what a lick was. And then one day, I was in Kansas City, and there was a little kid. Hey, much love, Hustler Holmes said, your mom sounds dope. Hey, dog, beyond beautiful, man. Beyond beautiful. My mother's intelligence quotient is through the fucking moon. Dude, my mama is so fucking smart. It's bananas. But she dropped out of school to have a family because she didn't like going to school. But you know what my mama could do? My dad went to work for IBM, and they used to have them build circuit boards, you know, like to prove that you could get the job. You literally would have to build a circuit board, right? So they would give you as kind of a test, you know, to test your technical ability. My mama had never seen that shit before. And my dad was like, oh my God, I'm going to lose my job. I'm not going to be able to do this shit, right? Because it was like a trap. It's like a trap, right? You have to prove that you can do this to get this job. Dude, my mom was like, man, give me that shit. What does it say to do? Get that shit to them. My mama was the shit, dog. But she was like, my husband's working. I don't feel like working, dog. She's like, no. She worked. She always worked. She like read. She just did her own thing, man. She was never wanted to be in school. But I'm telling you, dog, my mama, she told me that story. She was like, yeah, man. And my mother's vocabulary is just immense, dude. Immense. But yeah, she's the shit. But I'm telling you, niggas think I'm tripping. I'm telling you, her family is directly descended from the same place that all those Greek philosophers lived. They're from the same place. That's those schools of thought are what produced her family. So of course, dude, she just got a fucking monster fucking mind, dog. I'm not as smart as my mama. Now, I'll talk a lot of shit, but I'm not as smart as my mama, dog. Like, not in what she puts her like in a technical sense, not as smart as my mama, dog. My mom was the shit. And nobody knows it. They all think it's my dad. Like, because my dad is a highly successful businessman. Very, very successful businessman, has a lot of respect in the city of Chicago. You know, his family had a lot of respect in Philadelphia. So, you know, like I said, the Blackwells are we've been an established family in the black community for a very, 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 very long time. So they always think that it was my dad. But really the strength behind him is my mother. Because she's just extremely, extremely talented woman. What's your top intellectual books you have read back to back? Dog, I've read 70 books back to back. I can't name the books that I've read back to back. And there was a period of maybe 6 years where that's pretty much all I did. And for 19 years of school, that's all I did. So I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. And honestly, at a certain point in time, dude, you really don't need them anymore. Like I'm finding a lot less use for books. Really, a lot less use for books and a lot more use for contemplation. Because contemplation, you know, after you've been inundated with so much information, you can't have access to all that information that you've taken in. Blackwell ran West Philly. That's us. That's us. Fucking right we ran West Philly. Nigga, when I was a kid, true stories. When I was a little kid, dog, I wasn't from Philly. My dad's from Philly. My granddad's from Philly. My uncle's from Philly. My family's from them niggas is from Philly. But my dad went to school in Kansas, and I'm from Chicago. So I'm from Chi. So, but when I was a little kid, they would take me to see my granddad every summer, dude. And you knew this nigga was the shit. Cause this nigga walked down the street, motherfuckers got real out the way. Dog, these niggas got real out the way. They got real out the way, homie. Real out the way. None of the kids in the neighborhood would fuck with me. None of them, dog. I could go straight in West Philly. I could walk as a little kid, dude, with other niggas. Dude, them motherfuckers was nowhere near me. Because of my granddad. Because of my granddad, man. And because of my granddad, and I'm telling you, that shit in Philly, nigga, my Uncle Earl, my Uncle Dinky, back in the 60s, like the 60s and the 70s. Trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say, nigga. Like, yeah, them niggas was like that, dog. Like, they always tried to hide that they was like that, you know, because my dad went to college, you know. Like, the ones before, they didn't go to college, you know, because they was street dudes, right? They street dudes in some pimped out cars, pimped out hats, shirt and tie, just dressed up like straight Italian mobsters, dog, all through the 40s, 50s. My granddad was a butler, so you know that nigga was clean as shit. And he worked for the richest white man I believe he worked for the richest white man. Why do you try to link your channel to Ego and get the fuck out of here, nigga? Anyway, peon. Sorry, I interrupted for a peon, dog. Can tell you spent time in DC. Yeah, absolutely. Have you read or studied theology? No, I don't like theology at all. I don't like theology at all. Can't stand it. I've read it, yes, but I don't like it. I don't like the concept that I like religion more than I like theology. Because religion, that's a set of rules and things that you do. Theology, they're messing around and trying to figure out what the will of God is. And when you start talking about what the will of God is, that to me is just you're heading in the wrong direction, dog. You're heading in the wrong direction because the all, and to use the Hermetic phrasing, the all is unknowable. And anybody that pretends to know the will of the all is deluded. It's unknowable. It's unknowable. Other than to the extent that you see it manifest, and then to the extent that you see it manifest. When you see it manifest, then you can see the rules and say, okay, as above, so below. So we see it below, then we can not assume, but we can conjecture that it will be as above. That's why the Dogons say that the astrologers of Europe look at the universe like a child, because they are looking at the physical balls of gas, right? That they think are physical balls of gas. And what they're saying is no. As is above is so is below. You will learn the principles of the star by studying mud, right? Through the monad, you will know the archangel. That type shit. Gnostic, I mean, dude, you can name the people that talked about it. See? You will name the people that you talked about it. And that I don't think is useful. You know what I mean? Like, the Pythagorean school, the Hermetic school, the this, the that. I don't see really the Gnostic Christianity, or I just don't see why that's important. Because what you're doing is you're telling me what the name of the people were that got together to talk about it. That's all. You're just telling me, oh, okay, the Rosicrucians. What? Oh, they're a group of people that got together to talk about it. Oh, the Illuminati, what are they? Oh, a group of people that got together to talk about it. But what are they talking about is the subject matter at hand. What are you talking about? That's the subject matter. And if you understand the subject matter, then it doesn't matter what school you got it from, because truthfully, everything is incomplete. Everything is incomplete. Right? From my personal observation, the lower schools focus on the mechanics, and the higher schools don't care about the mechanics. Just don't care. Like, I don't care if there's if there's on the plane of vibration that there is 7 different planes, and each plane has 4 subplanes, which have 7 subplanes, known to man as the ether that creates the I don't give a fuck. No disrespect. But I ain't trying to move clouds and create earthquakes. You know what I'm saying? What do I need to create an earthquake for? I don't. So I'm not interested in that vibration of energy that they say does it, right? Because if all is all, then I should be okay in the all. And I should not have to manipulate the all. I should not have to, or on a physical plane, I shouldn't, other than to satisfy my own personal needs and my own personal expansion as a human being. You know what I mean? Just the playing in the mud of it is not appealing. Anyway, I'm sorry, man. I'm getting off on this shit, dude. Yeah, the Cuban boxer. Theology is a systematic study of the existence and nature of the divine. Exactly, the nature of the divine. You cannot know the nature of the divine. Right there. That's the problem. The study the existence, absolutely. We can study the existence, but to study the nature of the divine is beyond us. That is where it goes over the board. With the existence, yes. The nature of it, how does it even have a nature? How does something that is all have a nature? Because if it has a nature, a specific nature, that means that there's a nature that it does not have. If that's the case, it can't be the all. The all rests above all laws. And nature is a law. What is its nature? What are the laws that apply to it? The all has no nature that we are capable of comprehending. That's why I do not like theology, because you get into shit that you can't know, because it's not for you to know. It's beyond you. Water cannot, water, if you get the point. You get the point. But anyway, that's just this. Anyway. Yeah, that's called, it's like nerfing God into human form. Yeah, you can't do that. Because if you do that, then I don't think that you truly understand the nature of it. Because there is no nature to it. It's all. Like, the word all means all. It means everything, right? So you can't divide it. If you could divide it, then it would be 2 alls. Can't do it. You can't divide it. You can't multiply it. You can't detract from it. That's the argument that's the reason why, by logic, that you know the universe is mental. Because how can you create? Man creates in about 3 ways. You can create by grabbing something, some wood, building some wood, or building something with resources outside yourself. That's one way to build. The all can't do that because there's nothing outside of himself to get. What's he going to get that's outside of him? What is outside of all? Nothing. We are finite. We are not all. We're finite. So we can get something from outside of ourselves. We can get this. We can get this, right? This is conceptually for us outside of ourselves, and we can build toys. What else way can we build? We can have we can have a child, right? And have our wife give birth. That's a way to create. Can God do that? No. I mean, can the all do that? No. Or your conception of God? No. Why? Because it can't divide itself. It can't multiply itself. Who is it going to mate with? To mate with something and procreate with something would mean that there's something outside of itself, which it can't be because it's the all. So how could it create? Can we create in any fashion that does not involve procreation or taking materials from outside of ourselves and building? Yes. In our dreams, in our mind, in the mental images that we use to relate to everything. So only by logic as it applies to us, so as below, so as above, that would make it mental. And then you're dealing in mental phenomenon. You're not dealing as, what did they say? Descartes has said, you're not dealing with the spirit moving in a world of matter. You're dealing with the consolidation of the essence of God into a vision of its creating through principles, right? That's the gist of it. Hey, yeah, see this right here? See what you get? That is a miserable life to have, dude. That is a miserable life to have, homie. What's going on, John Page in the building? I'm chilling, costing myself money talking about this shit. Costing myself money. I should be talking about, hey, Nuke, call me, man. I was actually supposed to be yesterday or today. Make sure you call me, Nuke, right after this, dude. Great conversation right here. Salute. Hey, thanks, man. Sometimes we got to do it, man. Just get away a little bit away from boxing. You know, it's the last day of the month, so I feel a little bit chill. And, you know, that's what I'm on a little bit right now. Hustler Holmes said, man, this conversation is like brain food. I feel smarter. That's how it works. That is not accidental, dude. That is the truth. You can give people intelligence by explaining to them logic. I can make you smarter than you are right now, without a doubt, by introducing you to the concept of reason. If you understand reason, if you understand logic, if you understand fallacies, it is very, very hard for you to get off of a straight path. You will by then, because of less confusion, become a more intelligent person. And I believe that I can raise your IQ by at least 30 points off of just teaching you basic finite. Basic finite will take your IQ point up 30 points in a practical sense, because you will be able to see and understand more clearly causation, cause and effect. You will see it much more clearly. You will see polarity much more clearly. You will see the concept of vibration much more clearly. You will see the mental aspect of the universe much more clearly. But preceding to that is a logical thought process that allows you to get past confusion. It allows you to push aside things that you don't need, things that you don't need to read, things that you don't need to study, because you can put them in their proper context and specifically needle your way to the information that you need, right? And that comes from a enlightened thought process. You know what I mean? John Vaughn said, I would love to be in front of a chessboard and soak some knowledge thought from you. Yeah, man, we'll chop it up. But see, I don't really. Hey, man, thank you for joining, dude. Man, I'm fucking up my dough today. Hustler Home said, hey, join, man, thank you. Hustler's Home is a new member. Thank you so much, man, for joining the channel. Yeah, dude. They say Dashiki Jones says, salute, Dr. Martin, dropping mental jewels. Yeah, I mean, it's not difficult, dog. But you know what I appreciate? I appreciate the cat that said the Blackwells ran West Philly. I really appreciate that, dog. I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying that. Usually, cats don't talk about that shit. But I'm going to tell you, dude, I had a conversation with a mob boss one time, dog. A straight up mob boss. cat out of Kansas City. And what he told me was, he was like, look, we used the mob in the 40s and the 50s so that we could get our kids educations and that they could become lawyers, they could become doctors, and we were very successful in that. This man was like 80 years old. Old school dude. You know, the type of old school dude that just ain't got time to lie? Ain't got time to lie, dog. He was like, look, that's what we used it for. To educate our youth. And now our youth are educated. And now our children are in position, legitimate positions of power to affect change in the world. And that's why we did it. Told me that's why they did it. Nothing but respect for that man. Nothing for respect for that man. And that's true in the black community too. It really is. You know, Bumpy Thompson has family. You know, Bumpy Thompson has family. Rick Ross has family. These people got family, man. You know, they got family. And not everybody made it out. And not everybody in my family made it out of that. You know what I mean? A lot of them didn't make it out of it. Haven't made it out of it yet. And it's our job to get them out of it. It's our job as the children of the people that did the things that they had to do the things that we can do to make life better for our families. The game just changes from being a street thug in West Philly, even though my granddad wasn't no street thug, you know, but you know how it rolls. You know what I'm saying? Don't go near him. They don't go near my grandmama. But they wanted more for their children. My dad could have got into the University of Pennsylvania straight out of high school, dude, with average grades. With average grades to the University of Pennsylvania. Wharton School of Business. Best business school that there is. And turn them down to go to Wichita State. Telling you, man. Rule of the streets. If you're going to be in the street, make sure you keep the loved ones. The rules of the street. If you're going to be in the street, make sure you keep the ones you love on the sidewalk. That's the job, dog. That's the job. And it's like that in the Chi too. It's like that in the Chi too. You know? It's like that in the Chi too. What's going on, Al Jalil Sawab in the building? What's going on with you, man? Anyway, let's get back. Lucian Blackwell was into politics and did a lot for West Philly when I was growing up. If he's a Blackwell and he's in Philly, that's my family. Don't know him though. They keep me away from him. I was kept away from Philly. I wasn't in Philly a lot. I was in an Italian, predominantly Italian and Eastern European suburb of Chicago called Lombard. You know, named after Lombardi. So it'll tell you something about where I grew up, dog. Boxnard 805 said, "Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Much love, bro." Yeah, man, no problems, dog. Hey, Michael Johnson, dog, thank you so much for supporting the channel, dude. My numbers when I talk about this are very low. Okay, these are not the kind of conversations, dude. But I appreciate Philly giving that love to my family, man. Like, dude, I want to cry, dog. Seriously. Because I had a conversation with my dad, dude, because my dad never told me that shit, you know? Like, I knew, but I didn't know. You know what I mean? I knew, but I didn't know. He would tell me things like, you know, how they used to break in houses and, you know, do this and do that, you know? And he would let it out in little bits. But the other day, maybe about 3 weeks ago, I just flat out asked him. I was like, your father was a very, very important man, wasn't he? And my dad was like, and his voice had a shake in it. Like, yeah. My dad was a very, very important man. He meant a lot to the people of Philadelphia. And you know what pisses him off? They don't call him by his right name. They give mythical names to him and shit. His name is Blackwell, dog. His name ain't what you think it is. His name ain't what you think it is. You gonna call my granddad something else. That ain't his name. His name is Richard Blackwell. That other name you give him, that ain't his name. The niggas that you think were the men weren't shit compared to him. Oh, lick. So, John Phillip. Oh, and that's why y'all can't breathe on me too, just so you know. And that's why y'all can't breathe on me. And I don't even want to tell you about my mama's daddy. That nigga was world famous. World famous. And y'all don't call him by his right name. The word lick. Tave 25 said, bro, I see the pride in you. Be proud of your family, brother. I am. I cannot be more proud. I cannot be more proud than I am of my father and of my grandfathers and my grandmothers. They did a lot for black people. They did a lot for black people. A lot. A lot. And they don't get their credit because they were criminals. Criminals is what they call them. Criminals. You know, the people that put bread on your fucking plate when you ain't got no money. You know, the ones, if they robbing your fucking store, are going to make sure they don't rob your store. If somebody touches your daughter, they ain't never going to touch nobody else again. Those type of dudes, they call criminals. When what they're doing is protecting their family. And there ain't nothing wrong with that, ever. And if I wasn't in a situation where I was raised to be an intellectual, I'd be right there with them, without a doubt. Toting one, selling one, doing one. Just like my cousins, just like my fathers before them. And that's what's up. And if y'all ain't like that, then it is what it is. But this is the story about the lick. Cat was talking about hitting a lick. Kept saying, we about to hit a lick. We about to hit a lick. We about to hit a lick. Oh, yeah, da-da. And I was asked this dude. I was like, man, what the fuck is this lick shit? So there's this kid in Kansas City, right? And I mentored him. He's from like 22nd and Troost, you know, been kicked out of like 5 schools, just, you know, a thug, you know, in the middle of his family, literally killing another family. Like these 2 families in Kansas City didn't get along, right? But this one kid was a basketball star. So he could kind of straddle the lines. You have hate, so don't again say the name of God. Fuck off, homie. God. God, bitch. Do something about it. Get out. God. Now do something about it. Do something about it. See? So anyway, so I asked the kid, what's a lick? And they're like, they about to steal something. They about to rob you. Dude was, oh yeah, they about to rob you. That's what they meant. They mean they're about to rob you. So I was like, oh, okay. That's funny. So after that, I just kind of clipped to the side, cut all kind of contact. Was like, okay. But yeah, I wouldn't have known. But I knew from the context that hit a lick means you trying to rob me. So what you trying to rob me of, when you trying to rob me of it, is not a question I'm going to ask. I'm just going to leave. And you're not going to have access to rob me of anything. That's the story with hit a lick. So when and I brought that up in the content, in this context, that I can talk to anyone as long as I'm able to ask clarifying questions, because people will use a lot of that to try to talk right around you. So you listen. If you don't understand a word, you ask the meaning of the word. If I wanted to know, I would have said, excuse me, what does hit a lick mean? I'm unfamiliar with the term. What is a lick? Oh, you're going to take a lick off the lollipop. Oh, I get it. You're going to take a lick off a lollipop. Who's the lollipop, dog? Who's the lollipop? See, it's that type of shit. But you go through that in Chicago. You go through that as a kid in Chicago all the time, dog. You go into Maywood and people be like, oh, I'm going to get him. Like, cats all the time when I go to Maywood, every time I go to Maywood, there's this dude that is going to make me something. Like, it was a vice lord, it was a disciple, I don't know what it was, but they were convinced every time I would go there that somehow they were going to make me that, right? And how you make people like that? They was going to whoop my ass. They was going to get in a situation and put me in a situation where I'd have to work for them. So it's just, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, but you'll see that throughout the country, And I think it also continues into the professions. If you are a talented lawyer, but you're not going to represent the issues that they want to represent, or that they want the issues that they have, take the side of the issue that they want and be able to have a passion about it, both in a court of law and outside of it. It doesn't matter what your skill is. They're not going to want to deal with you. A lick also means punch. Yeah, but they didn't use it like, man, I'm going to give him a lick. I'm going to lick him. Nah, they didn't mean like that. Like, or if you mean it's a lick like you going to kill me, that could be possible too. I mean, I don't put anything past people, man. You know what I mean? Especially if, people think you got something that they want. People will pretty much do whatever they got to do, or whatever they think. Some people do whatever they want to do, and it's just really looking for an excuse to be that dude, Juan Vaughn said, do you think Demetrius Andrade and Hurd would be a good fight? And Jared Hurd? No. If he went up and wait, who do you have winning? I have Demetrius Andrade just torturing Jared Hurd. I don't even think that shit's a fair fight, and I don't even know if I would want to. It would just be a fucking massacre. What you would see is Demetrius Andrade pot-shotting him all night, cracking his chin up, and really probably getting knocked out. Because, Jared Hurd is a guy that comes forward behind the high guard pretty much, right, and is a take one to get one type of guy. But he's doing that at 154. He's doing that at 154 pounds, and Demetrius Andrade is about to move to 168. At 160, Demetrius Andrade is just he's just way too much for him. Marquise Black said, I'm going to go to the store and hit a lick. Yeah. I'm going to go to the store and hit a lick. Yeah, man, I'm seriously, dude, I'm still touched about you coming, man. Like, because that's the only person, my family is the only people going to do that shit. That's my family talking about my granddad, dog. And for the Blackwells, for my family in Philly that ain't named Blackwell, hey, man, I thank you very much, man. I thank you, seriously, from the bottom of my daddy's heart, dog. I thank you for that one. That means, yeah, it does. Cussing beautifies a sentence. It does. It gives it power. It gives it power. It gives it emphasis. It really works, dude. And if you don't believe it, what reaction do you have when somebody starts cussing you out? Doesn't it inspire a feeling in you? When somebody cusses in the right way, it'll make you laugh. If somebody cusses in the right way, it'll make you afraid. If people cuss in the right way, it'll emphasize their sadness. It is an emphasis placed upon words that give the word more power. You a bitch ass nigga, right? Call us, man, you a nigga. Or you a bitch nigga. But a bitch ass nigga, like you a nigga. But what do you mean by that? You a bitch nigga. What type? A bitch ass nigga. It just adds so much more to it, man. That's why I'm a fan of KQKC. KQKC is one of the best cussers that there is, dog. He is brilliant in his cussing. Bitch ass nigga. Hey, dude, I saw a Willie D, man. I saw a Willie D. Willie D had this report on his channel that a white woman called this black dude a bitch ass nigga. And it said, I shouldn't get fired because it's the truth. Dog, he said, he was like, he is a bitch ass nigga. I did not call him a nigger. I called him a bitch ass nigga. And there is a widely accepted definition for the word bitch ass nigga. And it's not even racist because shit, you could be a nigga. That's all good. But you a bitch ass nigga, which by very definition means that there's other type of niggas. You a real nigga. Oh, that's my nigga. Oh, that nigga's the shit. Oh, you don't fuck with that nigga. See, you can put all kind of other shit on that word and it makes it beautiful. It beautifies it, dog. It's the feminine principle. It's the feminine principle. It's the feminine principle. Cussing creates new meaning and new emphasis. And that, my friends, is the feminine principle in action. All is good, dog. All is good. And you know damn well these motherfuckers don't want you to cuss, so there must be something right about it. If a hater don't want you to do it, because, dog, these cats up in school, they be some fucking haters. You know, the people that are always telling you to speak properly. Do not say me and him. It's he and I. Why the fuck is it he and I and not me and him? I'm thinking of me, right? And he is the second most important thing to me. Me and him are going to the store, which sounds better than he and I. Why am I putting in front of him? I have to go first. I have to make the decision to go first, right? Before he and I can agree to go. It's my decision it hinges on. So my decision is the most important for me. So for him, he should say me and Martin are going. And I should say me and Nevin are going. Because me has to go first. He has to go second. Because even my perception of it dictates that I perceive before I understand. See? You dumbass niggas. Damn, dog. Be in the building. Said, getting back to Crawford and Pac. Thanks for the reminder on the super chats. I need the super chats. Thank you so much for the super chats. Black Preacher Man's boxing fan Caleb. Getting back to Pac-Man with NBA playoff, do you think they will promote properly? I don't think they can do over 450. Yeah, I do. I think that they're going to do 1 million. I think it's going to be a promotional bonanza. It's a great fight with the big star, with a great storyline. If Manny Pacquiao can win this fight, Manny Pacquiao will be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. At 42 years old, he will have proved it. His resume is better than Canelo's, and he will have a better recent win over a better competitor than Canelo. he would have beaten Terence Crawford and had a better resume than Terence Crawford. That will make him the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I would find a very hard pressed to give him anything other than that. And to boot, he becomes, without a doubt, an all-time great. I mean, without a doubt, an all-time great, in my opinion, because he's 42, 43 years old, and he's able to beat a prime Terence Crawford. That ain't no, and he came up from whatever weight class he came. Really, I think he came up as a grown man, probably from 126. I have a suspicion that he wasn't even full grown at those lower weight classes, and there wasn't a lot of competition. But the legitimate ones come at like 126, 130, 135, 147, and 154. That is an extremely, extremely great career, dog, that I am very happy to have witnessed, because he's a tremendous athlete, man. Now, of course, people are going to get on him about the steroids immediately thereafter. So I hope that there's testing for certain. I hope that there's testing. But, you know, if he doesn't get caught, you know, what can you do, man? But, yeah, man, I really do believe that. Is there another super chat that I missed? I have to go up on this screen, man. And then there was Michael James 616. Thank you, bro. The information you've given today is priceless, but here's something on it. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you, dog. Thank you. Okay, I think I'm up to date with them. Can you find out why Jared Hurd is suspended by the New York State Athletic Commission indefinitely? They probably just didn't take that off a boxing scene. The BoxRec doesn't update their records, and every fighter after a fight gets put on indefinite suspension. But sometimes they just won't take it off a BoxRec because of some administrative thing. But most likely, and I'm saying a 99% chance, is that is a result of his last fight. And I'm not sure if his last fight ended in a knockout or maybe somebody retired. Doesn't really matter. But whatever the case is, it's probably connected with like the New York State Athletic Commission saying that, oh, I'm sorry, we suspend you so that you can't fight within, say, the next 3 months or something like that. But then boxing scene doesn't take it off of the boxing scene doesn't take it off of their, doesn't fix it on their page. That's what usually happens. Kevin Faulkner said the fight is closer than people think if Manny is juicing. Yeah, I mean, I just don't, the style of Manny Pacquiao and his relative freshness. Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be something, it's definitely going to be something different than Canelo Alvarez has ever seen. Right? So, and fighting Manny Pacquiao is not an easy feat, man. It's not an easy feat. You know, it's not an easy feat. So we'll see how the styles match up. But you can pretty much bet that any round Manny Pacquiao does not clearly lose or get dropped, they're gonna give to Manny Pacquiao. So the judges will give them shits to Manny Pacquiao off of the expectation, right? Just off the simple expectation that, you know, that he's not supposed to be doing that well against a guy like Terence Crawford. Dashiki Jones, man, much love. Thank you. Said, Dr. Blackwell, I enjoy this intellectual side of your channel. We need that Austin meet and greet so we can chop it up. Yeah, man, we got to get it done, man. It's just as soon as I get some money, and then if you let me know how many people want to do it, dog, we can do it for sure, man. I'll get a little, you know, maybe like in the early summer months or something, I'll get an open bar. Like we can come and I'll get an open bar and get some, you know, maybe, you know, I don't know, how much does that shit cost? $2,000? and to have a decent meet and greet where you can have an open bar. You can have an open bar and you can have a buffet. Yeah, I would definitely like to do that. I wouldn't want to do something where it's just like we just got together. But if it's, like, you know what I'm saying? If we're going to do it, we'll do it, you know? Teo versus Kambosos is nothing compared to Bud and Pacquiao. Yeah, that's true. No doubt about it, man. Santos in the building. What's going on, man? He said, Fannon, I appreciate the work this morning. One, do you think if Crawford Pacquiao happens, let's say Pacquiao wins, I believe that he can win. Could this bring Floyd back to these young fighters or a May Pac 2? Yeah, it could. It depends on the reaction of, and first of all, Santos, I do believe that he's got a chance. For me, it's a 70-30 fight. 70-30, dog. 70-30. 70-30. 70-30. 70-30. If it was not Manny Pacquiao, I would say 80-20. But it's Manny Pacquiao, and I'll say 70-30. So there's definitely a chance that he can win. And but yeah, that would. Because if he gets all those belts, Floyd could probably still believes he can beat him. Floyd, it's not like Floyd hasn't been training. Floyd hasn't been fighting. Floyd hasn't been sparring. Floyd has been saying, as for somebody that has been out of the ring, he's staying fairly active. And he knows how to beat Manny Pacquiao. So if he feels, and he's a better fighter, a better boxer than Terence Crawford is. So he may very well be able to say, hey, all right, I'll come back. I'll come back and fight you for all the belts. Yeah, why not? That's a $200 million, that's a $300 million fight. That's a $300 million fight. For him. You know what I'm saying? That's a $300 million. That's the biggest fight of his career if that happens. Biggest fight of his career. And if he comes back and beats him, then he becomes a pound for pound #1 fighter in the world at age 44. So then he'll be like, fuck all y'all that say I ain't better than Ali. Right? Because that would be that dramatic a win. This thing really does, it sets up in a lot of ways, it really does set up some tremendous, tremendous opportunities in boxing because a rising tide lifts all boats. I would love to see that, Santos, and I think that's a great point. And hear me out. No need for that, dog. I will always hear you out, man. Always hear you out. And there's nothing incendiary in your comment, so there's nothing for me to react to in a volatile fashion, dog. Boxnard 805 said, Fannon, what's your opinion on Marquez doing an exhibition fight with Cotto? Love it. I love the exhibition fights. Love them. Love them. Will watch. Hate that I missed. Absolutely hate that I missed. The Mike Tyson, Roy Jones. I will not miss the next. The next one I'm buying. I'm gonna do. But I was holding. I had some animus towards. I had animus towards. I lost my. Towards those exhibition fights because of the whole Jake Paul thing. I think that Jake Paul shit is like a fucking, it's like, what do you call it? It's just a mockery, man. It's just a mockery, dude. It's a mockery, man. It's like, that shit is worse than like that shit is worse than the Osmonds and the Jacksons to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least the Osmonds weren't shit, and they were a playoff of, the Jackson 5. But, they were at least musicians. You know what I'm saying? They were musicians. They were good. You know what I mean? They had ability in their own right. You know what I'm saying? Their show was entertaining. They were clearly trained entertainers. But this Jake Paul shit is like, it's like the Jacksons and, I don't know, man, like some garbage ass kids playing the drum on Bourbon Street or something. Not even the good kids playing the drums on Bourbon Street. Just some garbage ass kids that can't keep rhythm. Terrible, dog. Terrible is what I think. Look, dog, that's not true, man. That is not true. He has fought top opponents. He beat the top guy at 135 at the time that he was there. The two top guys at lightweight were Ricky Burns and what's his fucking face? And Ray Beltran. We may not like it, but those were the best fighters that were in that division at the time because Adrian Bronner left. He unified 140. So, dude, he may have exposed Julius Ndungo, But Julius Ndungo was knocking out top quality fighters until he ran into Crawford, right? He beat Felix Diaz. He beat Postal. Nobody had beaten Postal before. So it's kind of like Danny Garcia. Like, people may forget how many really great fighters in fights Danny Garcia's had. Mitzer E. I'm going to go over for 1 second. You're a fucking moron. If his resume is weak, what is everybody else's? If his resume is weak, what is Sean Porter's? If his resume is weak, what is Vasily Lomachenko's? What is Teofimo Lopez's? You see? What is Arthur Beterbiev's? What is Monster Inoue's? Seriously. You discrediting people and nitpicking his resume, nitpicking his resume is bullshit. The man is an undisputed champion at 140. There is only one other male boxer today that can say he did it, and that is Alexander Usyk. He's an undisputed champion. What the fuck are you talking about with a weak resume? There's only one person in boxing other than him that's done it. Dog, you go too fucking far, man. You go too far. There is nothing weak about his resume. The problem is he has not fought the top welterweights. That's it. He has not fought the top welterweights. That is it. When he beat, what's that 140 pounder he moved up, Breidis Prescott? Do you give him any credit for Breidis Prescott? Breidis Prescott was a tough fighter. He knocked out Amir Khan. He was at 140. Man, fuck out of my life, bitch. You said his resume, you liar. You are a liar. You said, what is his resume? Now you want to change it to what is his weight. You fucking bozo. I already told you his problem is at 147. You ain't knocked him out, bitch. You ain't knocked out Amir Khan. You didn't. Shut up, moron. There's nothing weak about a resume of a guy that is a 135-pound champion, and beat Ricky Burns, beat Ray Beltran, who became a champion at 135. For him to go to 135 and beat Yuriorkis Gamboa, which is not an easy task, fuck what you talking about. Yuriorkis Gamboa is not the best fighter in the world, but he is a good talent. You guys are just following behind shit you don't understand. What you're doing, you morons, is you're listening to intelligent people like BFTB who will blister his resume, but you don't listen to the message closely enough to realize he is not saying that he has never fought anybody ever in his career. His career is worthless. Nobody is saying that. BFTB, in fact, early on was saying that it was Errol ducking Bud. Bud Crawford had nothing but respect of the boxing world, of the black boxing world, or anybody else after he unified at 140. You are having revisionist history. His record is impeccable until he gets to 147. Stop lying on the man. Stop dragging him down because you're using other people's arguments and not thinking for yourselves. You cannot have a weak resume with an undisputed championship. It is not possible. He held the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, and the WBO, and he beat their champions to get it. Felix Diaz is an Olympic gold medalist. He is not a soft touch. That man beat, according to a lot of people, Lamont Peterson. Lamont Peterson, according to a lot of people, beat Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia beat Lucas Matisse, knocked out Lucas Matisse, beat Postal. Or did he fight, not Postal, some other guy that they thought was a killer that he knocked out. You just don't remember because you are remembering, you're listening to what's going on now. But your dumbass did not say what's going on now. What you said was his resume sucks. His resume starts at his first fight and ends at his last. Stop it, dude. You are not going to tear Terence Crawford to smithereens. Okay? You are not going to tear him to smithereens. He needs to make, it's very simple with Bud. Excuse me for going late. It's very simple with Bud. He fights Sean Porter and Errol Spence. He has an incredible resume. He is 2 fights away from having an incredible resume. You cannot tell me somebody's resume sucks that is 2 fights away from having it be one of the best in all of boxing. If he beats Sean Porter, he is already right. Yeah, but he's BSing now. His position now is bullshit. That I grant you, because that has been my argument the whole time. It was never what he was doing before 147. It's just not. Let me read these 2 super chats and I'm out, man. Dr. Lemon in the building, he said, beat a prime Gamboa more convincingly than anybody. Yeah, it's just, see, I got to throw. Yeah, you're out, dude. Goodbye. It's nice to throw you out. You're just a fucking idiot that doesn't understand. You just don't know what the fuck you're watching, and you're disrespectful to boxers. Straight up. You're disrespectful to boxers when you call guys that are Olympic gold medalists and multi-divisional champions, when you say they suck, something's fucking wrong with you, dude. There's a difference between somebody sucking and them not being better than your fighter. I don't think Terence Crawford can beat Errol Spence. That does not mean Terence Crawford sucks. That just means he's extremely good, and I think Errol Spence Jr. is better. You all take it to places that you do not need to take them to at all, because you're petty people that are looking to turn on Terence Crawford, and you will turn on Errol Spence the same way when it suits you. You come here with this bullshit on Terence Crawford because you don't do your research. Clearly. You come here with bullshit on Terence Crawford, but the same person, if I do a video about Errol Spence, praising Errol Spence, you'll do the same thing to Errol Spence, without a doubt. I never agreed with the weak resume stuff, Gamboa alone. No, it's not a weak, exactly, because it's not a weak resume. It is him not fighting the best at 147. Because all you can fight in your weight class are the people in your weight class. That's all you can fight. You can't blame Terence Crawford because you don't like the fighters that are at 140. Or that you didn't like to fight the fighters at 135. Because those are the only fighters that were there. I could nitpick Ali's resume like that. Half of you dudes have never heard. Y'all ain't heard 99% of the people on his record. Oh, who is this Bob Foster? Who is this Zora Foley? I mean, Zora Foley could never beat Dillian White. We'll be in that bullshit. No, not doing it with you. Get the fuck out of my life. And last but not least, man, thank you for the support in the super chat. Colin Moore, thank you so much for your support. But look, man, I'm up out of here. Much love to everybody in the chat, everybody in the super chat. And with that, I'm out. Peace.